The number one thing that my clients struggle with when it comes to manifesting is checking the 3D, right? Texting an SP from a needy state of mind, wanting to constantly keep a keen eye on their social media, etc., etc., etc. There is no reason why you have to do those things. Zero. The only one that is messing up your manifestation is yourself. When you really stop and think about it, it's gotta be the reason why so many people often find that it takes a while to see results, right? Because, everybody is ready to complain about how manifestation is a scam, but when you look at the way that they handled their journey, you don't see dedication, you see obsession. Because here's the thing, you could detox from social media, but are you detoxing from the SP up here, right? It's kind of like those religious folk who they stop watching adult films. Okay, we're on YouTube, so we have to be careful. They stop masturbating, but they still have the lustful thoughts up here, right? What is the point? Like the scriptures say, even if you do it in your mind, it's the same shit. All right, what's the same shit whether you lust with your body, checking their social media, tapping away on your phone and browsing to see if you can find some sort of update that will make you feel better about yourself, or you're lusting for them in your heart. What the fuck is the difference? Okay, now why does this affect your manifestation? I'll give you the short answer, and then maybe if you want the scientific answer, I'll give that after. But checking the 3D is the same thing as doing a sat session before bed every single night, where you imagine a scene where your SP spits on your face and says, I'm in love with somebody else. That's exactly what you're doing to the 3D. Because you got to remember, the 3D, reality, I should say, will only give you whatever the technique implies, okay? Like I've said this before, let's say you were to do an imaginal act of your SP kissing you, but if in the imaginal scene it feels like the greatest thing that ever happened to you, then you are doing that imaginal scene in the state of the person who never gets kissed like that by their SP, that this is something that never happens for them. Therefore, if your reality sees that this never happens for you, it never will. And it's the same thing with you checking the 3D. Remember, I'm going to let you in on a fundamental that many manifestation coaches, for some reason, are afraid to talk about. Guys, everything you do internally or externally is an imaginal act. If I go, that means that I'm depressed or I'm having a bad day, right? If I pick my nose, right? Some people that might mean that they're bored. Other people that might mean that, they are nervous, right? But everything has an implication, right? Well, you checking the 3D, reality is watching everything, okay? It is downloading every single second of the day. And when it sees you checking the 3D, it is it's running manifestation. You got to understand, manifestation is running all the time. That shit does not stop, okay? Whether you want to call it manifestation, your subconscious, your reality, whatever, that shit is always downloading. That's why you have to do mental diet. Now, that doesn't mean when I say you have to do mental diet that this is like an exhaustive process. But this is what I wanted to make this video on. If you don't want to do robotic affirmations, which, by the way, I applaud you. Okay, I would do my other hand, but it's holding the fucking camera. I applaud you if you don't want to do robotic affirmations. Fuck that shit, neither do I. Right? However, The issue with robotic affirmations is that you put the technique on the pedestal, right? But I will say this, there's probably some people who are doing robotic affirmations that are having more success than you. Why? Not because the technique works, but because at the very least, they're probably saying robotic affirmations about putting themselves on the pedestal rather than, I have my SP, me and my SP are married, they love me, they love me, they love me. I mean, if you're gonna robotic affirmations, at least talk about your fucking God state and say, I'm number one. I'm the creator. I'm their drug. They can't eat, sleep, or breathe apart from my permission. I am worshipped by Zeus. That's one. Just keep fucking saying you're worshipped by Zeus throughout the day, right? But honest to God, one of the most, and I've said this before in the past, guys, one of the most powerful techniques is where you just simply stop doing shit that you know is fucking up your manifestation. If you don't do any sat session before bed, any imaginal act or affirmation, great. I mean, that's okay. But at the very least, one thing that you should do is discipline yourself to avoid doing the things that you shouldn't do. Okay? For example, again, checking the 3D. And by the way, when we say checking, a lot of people think of like checking their phone or like checking the watch or checking social media. Checking is up here too. Because remember, you're contemplating things all the time like, well, if it takes 2 months, maybe she's already out of the honeymoon phase with the rebound relationship. And maybe I have an opportunity to break no contact. Why the fuck would you be talking about that if you were already married to them? Remember, this is not red pill community. This is not self-improvement community. They use logic. We fucking don't. So if you want to use logic, leave. Okay? Remember, everything in reality costs a price. You want to buy a car, they don't fucking grow on trees. Okay? You want to be number one in the NBA, you have to put time in the gym and on the court and in practice, right? If you want to manifest an SP that is not choosing you right now, maybe even if they're fucking married, I'm sorry, but you cannot just fucking expect that that's not going to come at a price. But here's the gospel. You ready for this? It doesn't cost money. It doesn't cost time. You don't have to looks max or become Andrew Tate. All you have to do is be and decide right now that you have it. Be the one who has it and deny everything in the 3D that says you don't. That's it. I mean, I've said this before, guys. If you bury yourself underground 50,000 feet in the soil and you decide that you and Sydney Sweeney are going to be married, if you actually could stay in that story without a single doubt of conviction, no matter if you're there for 50 years, you and Sydney Sweeney are getting married. But the problem is everybody bases it off of, oh, I'm in the soil, there's no way, how is she going to dig me out? The moment you start thinking of how is she going to dig me out, instead of thinking of you digging her out, guess what? It's not going to happen. That's why people don't see the impossible happen, because it's very improbable to think of the impossible of happening when you're only thinking of the possibilities, when you, instead of realizing that you are all possibilities. So I think I have to make another 50 million of these because I'm cooking on this one. But I'm telling you guys, if I could leave you with one piece of advice in this manifestation journey, whether it's SP, physical appearance change, identity change, fucking sex change, or money, whatever you do, you don't have to do a single technique, but at the very least, don't do the things that ruin your manifestation. And 9 times out of 10 is involving checking the 3D, contradicting your end. Okay? Now, I could give you a whole video of like the top 50 things that you shouldn't do, and maybe I should make that because this generation loves those types of things. And plus, I love making the videos. Okay, to be fair, I'm not gonna lie. I do love you guys. I know your boy was going a little harsh in this video, but it's because I love you. I'm a coach, guys. I'm not an ass kisser. Remember that, okay? That's my job. So you're welcome. All right, but if you guys want help with your manifestation, book a call with me, guys. The links are in the description below. I would love to work with you, and join the membership channel for exclusive access to videos you will never see on the public side. And also, it's the only location that we have success stories of my personal clients. Some of them are 20+ minutes long, okay? And also, you get up to 2 months of advance of videos that you won't see until much later on the public side, and more perks to come. And when we get enough members on the membership channel, it just launched, so we're still in the baby process, but we will start doing lives of yours truly, okay? I love you guys. Stay tuned.